listen closely, because what I am about to tell you is not for everyone. It is for the one who is ready to rise, for the one who feels the invisible chains around their life and dares to break them. You have been walking through the world as if money is distant, as if wealth is something you must chase, as if abundance is a reward given only to the chosen few. But hear me now. Money is not hiding from you. It is circling you. It is watching you. It is waiting for your command. You have been taught to beg for it, to strain, to struggle, to strive. But money does not respond to strain. It responds to certainty. It bows before the voice of authority. And that authority is already within you. The moment you shift from pleading to proclaiming, from wishing to declaring, you step into the rhythm of the universe, where wealth flows like a river, swift, unstoppable, overflowing. The truth is simple, yet most never dare to believe it. Money is not earned first in the world. It is earned in the spirit. It is not counted first in the bank. It is counted in the mind. It is not stored first in vaults of gold. It is stored in the vault of your identity. And here lies the secret: your words are keys. Every sentence you speak is a command to the unseen. Every declaration is a seed dropped into the soil of eternity. And money, that faithful servant, springs forth according to the words you dare to release. So I ask you, what have you been saying about your money? What sentences have you been rehearsing in the silence of your thoughts? Have you whispered lack, or have you thundered abundance? Have you said, I can't afford this? Or have you said, all that I desire is already mine? You see, the universe is not confused. It gives you what you announce. It does not judge, it does not delay. It simply mirrors back the vibration of your voice. And if your words have been coated in fear, your life has been dressed in limitation. But if your words rise like fire, wealth rushes to meet you. There is one sentence, a secret sentence, that holds the vibration of large sums of money. It is not a plea, it is not a wish, it is not a desperate prayer. It is a decree. It is the royal proclamation of a soul that knows its throne. When you speak it, something in the air shifts. When you speak it, money begins to move toward you with urgency. When you speak it, doors open, channels appear, and the impossible bends in your favor. But before I reveal it, you must understand. This is not a magic trick. It is not for the doubter, not for the half-believer, not for the one who still clings to lack as their identity. This is for you, the one ready to claim your inheritance. The one who knows deep down that poverty is not your story. The one who feels destiny pressing against the walls of your chest, demanding to be spoken. So prepare yourself now. Empty the old sentences. Cast out the words of lack that have chained you. Release the tired scripts of not enough. Because in their place, a new language is rising. A sentence so charged with divine authority that money cannot resist it. Take a deep breath. Because in the next breath, you will hear it. And once you do, you will never be the same. Money is not outside of you. It is an energy that responds to your inner authority. You have been trained since childhood to believe that money is somewhere out there, hidden in banks, guarded by gates, owned by others who decide whether you are worthy of it. You were taught to see it as a distant star, far from your grasp, reachable only through years of struggle, sacrifice, and endless labor. But the truth is far greater, far simpler, and far more liberating. Money is not external. Money is not separate. Money is not hiding from you in the pockets of strangers or locked away in invisible vaults. Money is an energy, an obedient servant of the spirit, and it moves in response to the authority you carry within. Every thought you think about money sends out a signal. Every belief you carry about abundance writes a command in the invisible. And every word you speak about wealth becomes an instruction, whether you realize it or not. You see, money does not live in coins or paper or digital numbers on a screen. Those are simply its garments. The essence of money, the breath of it, the spirit of it, is energy, alive, fluid, responsive. It is like light, always present, waiting to be directed. It does not belong to one person more than another. It is not limited to a few chosen ones. It belongs to whoever dares to claim it with inner certainty. When you begin to understand this, you stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop bowing to the false belief that wealth is granted only through luck or chance. Instead, you realize that you are the source, and money is the echo. You speak with authority within, and money bends in response without. Just as a king does not plead for his servants to obey, you do not plead for money to come. You command it, you align with it, you call it forth from the field of infinite supply. The error most people make is thinking that money is physical first and spiritual second. They think they must labor endlessly before it appears, that they must prove their worthiness through sweat and toil. But money is always spiritual first. It exists as energy long before it becomes form. It lives as possibility before it becomes currency. And the bridge that carries it from unseen energy into visible form is your inner authority. That authority is not given to you by governments, employers, or systems. It is given by the divine itself, written into your being, stamped on your spirit. But what is inner authority? It is the knowing that you are not a beggar at the gates of life. It is the recognition that you are a creator, a speaker of worlds, a commander of substance. Inner authority is the vibration you carry when you no longer ask, "Can I afford this?" but instead declare, "All that I desire flows to me with ease." It is the stance of certainty, the voice of ownership, the energy of one who already knows the truth. That abundance is not earned, it is allowed, it is not granted, it is claimed. When you walk with inner authority, money feels your presence. It does not wander away from you, it is drawn to you. It hears the resonance of your voice. It recognizes the command hidden within your words, and it comes. Opportunities appear, channels open, ideas arrive, people show up, all because you no longer vibrate as one in need but as one in command. You do not force, you do not strive, you do not chase. You allow the magnetic law of spirit to do what it has always done. Bring to you the reflection of who you are being. The poor in spirit believe money is a mountain they must climb. The rich in spirit know money is a river, and the river flows to the one who knows how to stand still and direct its current. You do not need to climb. You need to awaken. You need to remember that the kingdom of wealth is already within you, and your words, thoughts, and beliefs are the keys that unlock its doors. When you hold inner authority, you do not question if money will come. You simply ask, how much, how soon, through which channel, and then you watch with calm expectancy as it appears. This is why some work endlessly yet remain broke, while others seem to attract money without effort. The difference is not intelligence, not labor, not chance. The difference is authority. One lives as though money is a master, and they are its servant. The other lives as though money is a servant, and they are its master. The first pleads. The second commands. The first vibrates with fear. The second vibrates with certainty. And money, being energy, always obeys certainty over doubt. The time has come for you to stop bowing before the illusion of lack. The time has come for you to recognize that you are not powerless in the face of money. It is powerless in the face of you, for you are the source, the wellspring, the command center. You are not a seeker of wealth. You are the magnet that calls wealth into being. You are not a chaser. You are the attractor. And as your inner authority strengthens, the river of money that has always been flowing toward you begins to break through the dam of disbelief, flooding your life with the abundance that was yours all along. Words are spiritual commands that shape the unseen into form. Every syllable you speak is more than sound, more than vibration moving through the air. It is an instruction delivered into the invisible, an order given to the creative forces of the universe. When you open your mouth and release words, you are not merely describing reality, you are authoring it. You are engraving destiny upon the canvas of the unseen. Most people never grasp the power hidden in their speech, so they squander it on idle complaints, casual negativity, and thoughtless repetition of lack. But the awakened know every word carries weight. Every phrase carries energy, every sentence is a seed. The unseen world does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your words. It is not impressed by your intentions alone, but by the vibration you clothe in language. When you speak, you set invisible currents into motion. These currents move through people, opportunities, and circumstances, shaping matter into alignment with what has been declared. To say, "I am always broke," is not an observation. It is a decree. To say, "Money never comes easily to me," is not an opinion. It is a command. And the invisible obeys without judgment, faithfully reflecting the words you have sown. This is why the ancients guarded their tongues with reverence. They understood that words are not accidents. Words are spells. Words are creative tools of immense force. The phrase, abracadabra, is rooted in the ancient idea that I create as I speak. When you speak, you give form to the formless, you awaken dormant energy and instruct it where to flow. The universe listens to every declaration and responds accordingly, whether you speak in fear or in faith. Many live as prisoners of their own language. They curse themselves daily without realizing it. They mutter lack at the grocery store. They sigh poverty when bills arrive. They repeat the mantras of struggle and limitation without awareness that every repetition strengthens the chains that bind them. They do not realize that their life is not shaped by circumstance alone, but by the echo of their own words. Circumstance bends to speech. Conditions rearrange themselves around the decree of the tongue. What you say becomes what you see. But there is another way. When you awaken to the truth, you begin to speak differently. You begin to speak not from the evidence of the eyes, but from the authority of the Spirit. You no longer describe reality, you define it. You stop repeating the language of limitation and begin declaring the language of abundance. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," you say, "Money flows to me with ease." Instead of declaring, "Nothing ever works out for me," you say, "Everything is working together for my good." These words are not empty affirmations. They are commands written in the fabric of the unseen. When you hold a thought in silence, it vibrates within you. But when you give it breath, when you release it as sound, it leaves you and enters the field of creation. It is no longer a thought, it becomes an entity, a messenger carrying instructions to the world around you. The vibration of your word touches energies you cannot see, and those energies begin to move in your favor or against you depending on what you have spoken. Every declaration is a key, and every key opens or closes a door. The power of words is amplified when they are spoken with conviction. A sentence uttered casually carries some energy, but a sentence spoken with full certainty becomes a decree the universe cannot ignore. When you stand in the authority of your being and declare wealth, the unseen world rearranges to deliver it. When you affirm abundance as though it were already yours, channels open to match your vibration. Words become reality when spoken with unwavering belief. It is not enough to avoid negative speech. You must consciously choose words that align with the wealth you desire. You must train your tongue to only speak what uplifts, what multiplies, what calls forth the good. Just as a gardener carefully selects seeds, you must carefully select words. Plant words of prosperity, and the harvest will be plenty. Plant words of joy, and your life will sing. Plant words of wealth, and money will follow like a loyal servant. This is why silence is sometimes sacred. To remain quiet until you can speak with authority is better than to fill the air with words of doubt. But when you do speak, let your words be chosen with the precision of a sculptor's hand, carving destiny into form. Speak life to your finances. Speak favor into your path. Speak overflow into your household. Every declaration builds the unseen architecture of your reality. The time has come for you to recognize the divine gift hidden in your mouth. Your words are not small. Your words are not weak. They are creative fire, spiritual law in motion, the very breath of God moving through you. To speak is to summon, to decree, to command. And what you command cannot help but obey, for the universe itself is structured to mirror the vibration of the word. Poverty is sustained by repeating sentences of lack. Wealth is summoned by declarations of abundance. The world you see around you is not random. It is an echo chamber of the words you have allowed yourself to speak and believe. Most people walk through life unaware that their speech is a constant prayer, a steady chant, a repeated affirmation that instructs reality on what to deliver. They think they are merely describing their situation when they say, "I don't have enough," or "I can't make it." But in truth, they are commanding the unseen to replicate and extend that condition. Poverty is not an accident that arrives without cause. It is a pattern woven through language, sustained by repetition, nurtured by the continual utterance of lack. Every time you say, "I can't afford it," you are handing life a blueprint, and life builds exactly what you hand it. Every time you sigh, "Money is hard to come by," you are sealing a covenant with limitation, and the unseen world dutifully fulfills your agreement. Words of lack are not empty. They are active, living, creative forces that summon more lack into your experience. Poverty is not simply the absence of money. It is the presence of a language that keeps money at bay. It is a rhythm of words that pushes abundance away, creating an invisible wall that opportunity cannot cross. On the other hand, wealth does not come only from strategy, skill, or chance. Wealth is summoned by declaration. It begins with a word. The prosperous are not simply lucky, they are aligned in speech. They refuse to allow words of lack to leave their lips. They understand that each sentence is a seed, and that the harvest is inevitable. When they speak abundance, they are not daydreaming, they are constructing reality. They are calling the unseen substance of wealth into form. Their declarations become magnets that pull money from unexpected directions, opportunities from unseen corridors, blessings from channels they did not know existed. To declare abundance is not to lie to yourself, it is to claim a higher truth. You may not yet see wealth in your hands, but when you speak it as yours, you are acknowledging the reality of the spiritual realm, where it already exists. Declarations are bridges. They carry the unseen into the seen, the invisible into the visible, the potential into the actual. Each time you affirm, "I am wealthy, money flows to me with ease," you are programming the field of energy around you to shift, to bend, to align with your words. The declaration becomes the mold, and life pours itself into that mold until the form matches the decree. The reason declarations work is because they do not simply echo in the air, they echo in your identity. When you repeat words of lack, your mind accepts lack as your nature. You begin to act as one who is poor, expect as one who is poor, attract as one who is poor. But when you declare abundance, you retrain your mind to see yourself as wealthy. And identity shapes reality. You can never consistently live above the story you tell yourself. You can never sustain a reality beyond the declarations you are willing to make. Speak as poor, and you will live as poor. Speak as wealthy, and you will live as wealthy. This is why you must take responsibility for every word that leaves your lips. If you desire wealth, you cannot afford the luxury of casual complaints. You cannot entertain the habit of declaring lack in jest or frustration. Each word carries creative power, whether spoken in seriousness or in play. The universe does not sort your speech into categories of "just kidding" and "truly meant." It only obeys vibration, and vibration is released every time your words leave your mouth. Consider how easily people repeat negative declarations. They say, "I'm always broke. I can't catch a break. Life is unfair. I'll never get ahead." These phrases, spoken daily, become incantations that keep them bound. They reinforce the chains that hold them. Yet imagine the transformation if those same lips released words of power instead. Imagine waking each morning and declaring, "Wealth surrounds me. Money flows to me constantly. Opportunities chase after me. I live in overflow." The energy of such declarations would rewire your entire atmosphere. They would invite abundance into your life with magnetic force. Wealth is summoned because declarations alter both the unseen and the seen. They change the spiritual field, and they change you. When you declare abundance, your energy rises, your confidence expands, your actions align with prosperity. You see doors where before you saw walls. You notice opportunities where before you saw nothing. Declarations shift perception, and perception shapes decision. Those decisions, made under the energy of abundance, lead to paths where money and resources already flow. The contrast is sharp. Poverty lives on the tongue of those who constantly affirm it. Wealth lives on the tongue of those who dare to declare it. Every moment you are either feeding lack or feeding abundance. You are either sustaining the energy of scarcity or summoning the energy of wealth. The difference lies in your words, and the difference is absolute. The universe mirrors back the vibration of your voice, without judgment or delay. It does not question whether you deserve abundance, nor does it weigh the worthiness of your request. It simply listens to the frequency you release through your words and responds with perfect accuracy. The law is impartial, as unwavering as the reflection in a mirror. When you smile, the mirror smiles back. When you frown, the mirror frowns. When you declare wealth, wealth begins to take shape in your world. When you speak lack, lack finds its way into your life. The universe does not decide for you, it only echoes you. This truth is why your voice holds so much sacred power. Your words are not only vibrations in the air, but instructions written into the substance of reality. Every sound you release carries a frequency that resonates far beyond what your ears can perceive. It reverberates into the unseen, touching energies and particles that respond like instruments tuned to your vibration. If you sing the song of lack, life harmonizes with it. If you sing the song of abundance, the whole universe orchestrates events to match the melody. The impartiality of this law is both liberating and sobering. It means you are never at the mercy of fate. It means that wealth, love, health, and opportunity are not withheld from you by some external force. They are reflections of the vibration you have chosen to express. Yet it also means that you cannot blame anyone else for the reality you experience. The universe mirrors your vibration with flawless loyalty. It is a servant that never disobeys, never delays, never judges. It reflects you back to yourself with unrelenting precision. This is why you must pay attention to what your voice is truly broadcasting. Do you speak from fear, doubt, and despair, coating your words with the heavy energy of lack? Then you will find those frequencies mirrored in your experience. Or do you speak from faith, gratitude, and certainty, letting your words carry the vibration of overflow? Then you will see the reflection of that abundance returning to you in the form of money, opportunities, and blessings. The voice is more than sound. It is identity expressed aloud. When you say, "I am broke," you are not describing a temporary condition. You are declaring an identity that the universe must reflect. When you say, "I am wealthy," even if your bank account does not yet reveal it, you are announcing an identity that reality must begin to mirror. Your words reveal who you believe yourself to be, and the mirror of life never fails to align with who you are being. Imagine standing before a physical mirror. If you want to see a different reflection, you do not touch the glass, you adjust yourself. If you wish to see a smile, you must smile first. If you wish to see strength, you must stand tall. The mirror has no choice but to echo back what you present. The universe functions in the exact same way. To change the reflection of your life, you must first change the vibration of your voice. Speak differently, and life will show up differently. Every declaration you make carries a certain tone, a certain resonance. Words of lack are heavy, dense, slow, and they pull circumstances downward into limitation. Words of abundance are light, expansive, magnetic, and they lift circumstances upward into overflow. The unseen responds instantly to whichever tone is released. This is why some people seem to always experience hardship, no matter how hard they work. Because their voice never rises above the frequency of lack. And it is why others, who may not labor nearly as hard, find doors opening with ease. Because their voice continually broadcasts the frequency of wealth. The speed of this reflection is astonishing once you become aware of it. Speak lack consistently, and soon lack appears everywhere. Speak abundance consistently, and opportunities multiply around you. It does not take years for this shift to begin. The universe does not operate on delay. The moment you alter the vibration of your voice, life begins to rearrange itself to match the new frequency. It may not appear instantly as physical money in your hand, but it begins instantly as movement in the unseen, drawing people, ideas, and channels toward you. Your voice is not small, it is a tuning fork for reality. Every time you release words, you are striking that fork against the fabric of existence, and everything around you vibrates in response. Speak with hesitation, and life hesitates. Speak with authority, and life accelerates. Speak with certainty, and the mirror reflects certainty back in visible form. This is why silence, though powerful, is not enough. You must speak, because speech gives form to vibration in a way that thought alone cannot. The vibration of your voice carries the weight of embodiment, and embodiment commands reflection. The universe is always listening, but it is not listening to your wishes. It is listening to your words. It is not listening to what you hope for silently in your heart. It is listening to what you dare to speak aloud with conviction. To whisper doubt while secretly hoping for wealth is to create confusion within yourself, and the mirror reflects that confusion as delay and contradiction. But to declare abundance without wavering, to let your voice release only the frequency of overflow, is to program the mirror to reflect nothing but wealth. This law is so constant, so reliable, that once you understand it, you can predict the trajectory of your own life, simply by listening to the vibration of your speech. If your words drip with lack, you know what is coming. If your words radiate abundance, you know what must arrive. You need no prophet to tell you your future. Your own voice is the prophecy. Your voice is the law in action. Your voice is the decree that reality must obey. A single aligned sentence, spoken with certainty, carries the power to attract large sums of money. The mind often thinks wealth must be complicated, that abundance requires endless strategies, countless steps, and years of waiting. Yet the laws of spirit are not complicated. They are precise, direct, and astonishingly simple. One sentence, aligned with truth and spoken in authority, can open doors that decades of struggle could never touch. Words carry creative force, and when those words are perfectly aligned with divine law, they carry the power to bend reality toward abundance in ways that defy logic. The universe does not require long explanations or endless reasoning to deliver wealth. It responds to alignment. It responds to vibration. It responds to the sound of certainty clothed in words. A sentence of lack pushes money away, but a sentence of faith draws it near. The power lies not in the length of the phrase, but in the alignment of the energy behind it. Just as a single key can unlock a vast vault, one sentence, when spoken with unwavering belief, can unlock the flow of wealth that has always been circling you. Most people scatter their power through many words, saying much but declaring little. They repeat phrases of need, prayers of desperation, or affirmations without conviction. These words lack the vibration of authority, so they fall to the ground without creation. But one sentence, chosen carefully and spoken as law, reshapes the field of energy around you. It organizes unseen substance, sends out a decree, and commands opportunities to assemble. Large sums of money are not summoned by effort alone. They are summoned by decree. Consider the story of kings and queens of old. When a ruler issued a decree, it was not lengthy. It was short, sharp, clear, and final. One sentence carried the weight of the entire kingdom. That sentence moved armies, altered nations, changed lives. Why? Because the power was not in the length of the words, but in the authority of the voice that spoke them. In the same way, when you speak a single aligned sentence with full certainty, you speak as a ruler of your reality, and money, like a loyal servant, obeys the command. The secret lies in alignment. Your sentence must not only be spoken, it must match your identity, your belief, your inner state. If you say, "I am wealthy," but inwardly believe you are poor, your words carry contradiction, and the universe mirrors back confusion. But when the sentence you speak is aligned with the vibration you carry, its power multiplies beyond measure. Alignment is the bridge between word and manifestation. When word and identity match, The result is inevitable. A single aligned sentence functions like a seed. Inside the seed of an apple lies not just one fruit, but an orchard of countless apples yet to come. In the same way, one aligned sentence contains within it endless possibilities of abundance, endless streams of supply, endless doors of opportunity. The sentence may seem small, but what it births is limitless. The harvest always reflects the seed, and the seed of an aligned word always produces the harvest of wealth. Large sums of money are not accidents. They appear in the lives of those who know how to speak with authority. You cannot force money to come by willpower alone, but you can summon it by decree. You can shape it with your tongue. When you declare, "Money flows to me in large, expected and unexpected ways," and you speak it as truth, not as hope, the currents of the universe rearrange themselves to fulfill that decree. People cross your path, ideas arrive, doors swing open, all because one sentence was spoken with alignment and certainty. The beauty of this truth is its simplicity. You do not need to memorize endless affirmations, nor drown yourself in complicated rituals. One sentence, aligned with truth, spoken with authority, is enough. But you must be willing to repeat it until it becomes the very atmosphere of your being. Each repetition is not begging, it is anchoring. Each time you declare it, the vibration grows stronger, the identity grows firmer, the command grows sharper. Soon, the world has no choice but to mirror it. The reason one aligned sentence works so powerfully is because it bypasses the clutter of the mind. Long affirmations often confuse the subconscious, but one sentence, repeated with certainty, sinks deep, clear, undeniable. It takes root in the soil of the spirit and grows into the structure of your reality. Your subconscious mind becomes programmed with abundance, and since the subconscious directs your actions, your opportunities, and your perception, money begins to flow in directions you could not have calculated with logic. A single aligned sentence is like striking a tuning fork. The sound resonates through everything, causing other vibrations to align with it. When your words resonate with wealth, the vibration of money cannot resist. It begins to vibrate back to you, to harmonize with your frequency. One sentence carries the tone, and the universe sings in harmony with it. The question is not whether it works. The law is unbreakable. The question is whether you will dare to choose your sentence, speak it with conviction, and allow yourself to embody it. Because when you do, large sums of money begin to move. They find you, they chase you, they gather around you. One sentence becomes the magnet, and everything you need, desire, and expect begins to rush toward its command. To manifest, you must release old scripts of not enough and step into your identity as a divine commander of wealth. The old language of lack has been your silent master for too long, whispering in your mind, shaping your beliefs, and directing your actions. Every time you said, "I can't afford this," you reinforced a script that cast you as powerless. Every time you thought, "There's never enough to go around," you rehearsed a role that kept you small. These old sentences became like shackles, binding your imagination, limiting your vision, keeping you bowed before the illusion of scarcity. But to step into wealth, you must let them fall away. You cannot carry poverty, thinking into prosperity, living. The new life cannot be built on the old language. Identity is the soil in which your reality grows. If you see yourself as someone who is always struggling, no affirmation or strategy will ever take root, because the soil cannot sustain the seed. You must change the soil. You must step out of the identity of one who waits, begs, or pleads for money, and step into the identity of one who commands, declares, and creates it. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. You were not born to live at the mercy of money. You were born to rule over it as a tool, as a servant, as an energy that bends to your authority. Old scripts of lack are insidious. They masquerade as practicality, as common sense, as realism. They tell you, "Be careful. There's only so much to go around." They whisper, "Life is hard, and money is harder." They remind you of every failure, every debt, every missed opportunity, and say, "See, that's who you are." But these scripts are not truth. They are inherited stories, passed down through generations, echoed by society, reinforced by culture. They were given to you, but they were never yours. To manifest wealth, you must reject them like garments that no longer fit. Stepping into your identity as a divine commander of wealth means embracing the truth that you are not a beggar in this universe. You are not knocking on heaven's door hoping for crumbs. You are a co-creator, a speaker of law, a vessel of divine power. When you speak, the universe responds, not because you are pleading, but because you are decreeing. You stand as a ruler in your own right, and money is not your master. It is your servant. This shift of identity changes everything. When you see yourself as one who lacks, every opportunity looks threatening or unattainable. But when you see yourself as one who commands wealth, every opportunity looks like a channel for your abundance. You stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and begin asking, "How will this wealth flow to me?" You stop saying, "I wish I could," and start saying, "I declare that I will." The energy changes, and so does the reflection of your life. Think of an actor stepping into a new role. At first, the old habits linger, the old voice patterns slip through, the old gestures remain. But the more they practice the new role, the more natural it becomes until they are no longer acting. They are embodying. The same is true for you. At first, stepping into the role of a divine commander of wealth feels foreign, even false, because the old scripts still echo in your mind. But with practice, with repetition, with declaration, the old lines fade and the new identity takes hold. Soon you no longer try to feel wealthy. You know you are. You no longer act as though abundance is yours. You live as though it always has been. To manifest large sums of money, you must decide that the old identity has died. The version of you that lived in fear of bills, that questioned whether they deserved success, that settled for less than enough, that version cannot remain. You bury it by silence. You starve it by refusing to speak its language. And you resurrect a higher version of yourself by declaring, over and over, the language of wealth. Each declaration is not only a command to the universe, but a reminder to your own soul, "This is who I am now." Stepping into this new identity also means holding yourself with a different posture. Poverty bends the back, tightens the chest, lowers the eyes. Wealth lifts the head, straightens the spine, expands the breath. You walk differently when you know who you are. You speak differently when you know what you command. You no longer whisper apologies for existing. You release declarations that create worlds. You no longer shrink at the sight of money. You stand as the one who directs its flow. And this identity does not waver when challenges come. The old self crumbles when faced with lack, but the divine commander sees lack as temporary shadow, as illusion, as a moment that must bow before their decree. Challenges do not weaken the new identity, they prove it. When bills arrive, the old self panics. The new self declares, "Money is flowing to cover this easily." When opportunities seem scarce, the old self complains. The new self declares, "Abundance is already mine, and channels are opening now." Each moment becomes proof of authority, each obstacle a chance to exercise command. To manifest is to embody. To embody is to speak, think, and act from the higher self that already knows abundance is your natural state. When you leave behind the old scripts and embrace your identity as a divine commander of wealth, money cannot resist you. It must obey, for it was always designed to serve the one who remembers their true authority.